Hey guys, today we start out with the Five of Wands. And you can see Jason, he is battling the dragon for the golden fleece, right? Now, beside him is the sorceress Medea. And she is the daughter of the king of this island, Colchis. Now, as you can see in the Five of Wands, I've said before, fives are the worst cards in the deck, in my opinion, because fives always represent such struggle and loss. So if you look at this card, it's showing the struggle of Jason's creative vision, which was to go and take the kingship of this island and bring the golden fleece back to Zeus. But it's collided with earthly reality in the form of the dragon, right? And in myth, the dragon has always represented the primitive powers of the earth, which resist change. The problem with accommodating limitations of practical life and the limitations of one's own regressive thoughts is the greatest challenge to any individual wishing to express their power of his or her creative imagination as actual life. So now Jason had this great vision and how he was going to do everything and get his life, but now it's actually in front of him, right? We've all had moments in our life like this. So if you're reading the Five of Wands in a spread, you have to tell your client this is a time of struggle where they must battle their inner demons of their material reality to achieve their goal. They got to look deeper. They got to look past their wants to actually what their soul is desiring. What they see is little things begin to go wrong in their life, and more attention must be paid to the fact that they limitate themselves in their reality. Okay, that's really what the Wands is, the breakdown of the illusion. We saw that with Psyche and Eros when Eros ran away, yet the five was, hey, I have a right to certain things, yet it's also an understanding that you never saw that you had that right before. And now you have that right, things break down. So when you see the Five of Wands, it augurs in that period of time of chaos and breakdown and loss and reality. Like, wow, this isn't what I thought I signed up for. In the Cups, that's when we realize living together or marriage is way different than lust and love and going on dates and dinners, right? Children and real life is way different. So that's what we're seeing here in the Five of Wands. Real life clashing with illusion, which leads us, of course, to the Six. Here in the Six, we see Jason is victorious after his battle. All right, so this is the rebuilding. He did get through the breaking down of reality versus illusion, and he won. And you can see behind him are all his companions that he brought on the journey, cheering with their six flaming swords. All right, so when you see the Six of Wands in a spread, you want to tell the person they're on their way up. They deserve some triumph, some recognitions. A lot of times, the Six of Wands also, now that we're in the social media age, represents public acclaim, that they're being seen finally, okay? Because their battle has been fought and they've earned their reward. Jason has earned his reward. He clashed with reality and illusion and he won. And this is a very important card because it is in the rebuilding stage. It doesn't mean we know everything and everything's going to be fine, but it is the card we want to tell people that, hey, you've been through your dark night of the soul. That's what a five is. And if you don't know what the dark night of the soul is, look it up on Google. It'll tell you. And that is what all fives represent. So the Six is always triumphant. The Six is always victorious because the dark night of the soul is pretty much the hardest thing a person can go through. And we go through them periodically through our life. So when you see this in a reading, you want to let your client know that this is a time to be acknowledged for something, Okay, it might be a promotion, a qualification, recognition, but they will be acknowledged for their hard work because they've gotten through the dark night of the soul. And now we're going to go on to the Seven of Wands. Here we see Jason battling the King of Colchis, the one that was greeting him in the beginning. But now that Jason has battled the dragon, something he wasn't willing to do, and gotten the golden fleece, the king and his warriors are going to battle Jason to get what he won. So what the 7 represents is another struggle. After a small victory from the dragon, you realize there are people out there that are willing to take what you worked so hard for. So if you're reading the 7 in any spread, it's truly about not resting on your laurels, not thinking the victory is won, that there is still more work to be done. So it is another struggle card, but it's an evenly matched struggle. It's not Jason against a dragon. It's not against all odds. You're now evenly matched against the person that's trying to take what you created. So this in a spread augurs in a time of being aware of who you have around you. It's a struggle with other people's creative ideas. It's competition. You are going to tell your client that they're challenged to improve upon and develop their project or whatever it is they're working on, because there's people around them that are envious and competitive, and they may take what they've worked so hard to win. All right? And that leads us to the 8 of Wands. Here we see Jason voyaging away from Colchis after he has escaped from that angry king. So we see the Argo, the ship that they built for their journey, and it has all 8 wands flaming upon its deck. And then you see dolphins riding alongside the ship. So the 8 of Wands, it represents a release of your energy, your creative energy. We're talking about emotion after the anxieties and struggles of the 7 have been overcome. So Jason can breathe a little bit of, I guess you could say, a sigh of relief, because he's gotten the golden fleece, everybody's back on the ship, and they're headed for home. So sometimes when you see this card, conflict stimulates the imagination, and it has forced us to look at things maybe we couldn't see before, that we thought we were smooth sailing. It makes us really question our environment, and what we see in the 8 is that we saw what we needed to see. The experience of releasing the new creative energy can be seen in competitive sports, where you have a great athlete like Tiger Woods who just lights up the golf course, and then he completely falls apart for 2 years before he comes back, right? So the 8 of Wands is the return. That is when we see, okay, I had a little bit of a dark night of the soul, and now I'm back. It also can relate to travel. I call this my travel card. There's a couple of cards I call my travel card, but 8 of Wands is one of them. It can also mean a physical move in your spread. So if your client can't understand the journey after the struggle, the completion of the competition, then maybe they can relate to travel. All right, so that's what I got for you today. Thanks again for listening. I hope you're back on the lessons, and I hope you're pulling every day and watching the videos every day. Like always, take care. Like, subscribe, and share. And you can follow me on Facebook at Kimberly Dawn Empath, or join my Facebook group, All Things Afterlife. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon with the next lesson.